Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Monroe County Airport. Glad to see everybody today, and I want to tell everyone we are so thrilled to be here today for this exciting announcement. Before I begin, I want to take an opportunity to introduce some special guests who are here in the audience with us today. Please join me in welcoming the following special guests, although you are all our special guests. I want to welcome New York State Senator Joe Roebuck. Joe, welcome. New York State Senator Rich Funke. New York State Assembly Majority Leader Joe Morelli. New York State Assemblyman Harry Bronson. New York State Assemblyman Mark Johns. New York State Assemblyman Peter Lawrence. Please join me in welcoming one of my partners, great partners in government, the Mayor of the City of Rochester, Lovely Warren. From the Monroe County Legislature, please welcome Monroe County Legislature Majority Leader Brian Marionetti. And Monroe County Legislature Minority Leader Cindy Kelly. A warm welcome for Monroe Community College President and Finger Lakes Regional Economic Development Co-Chair, Dr. Ann Kress. And a very special welcome and thank you in advance to our great Airport Director of Aviation, Michael Giordino. I also want to welcome all of our other elected officials and business leaders who are here today for this exciting announcement. The program will be as follows. I have some brief remarks, and then following me, our special guest, the Honorable Governor Andrew Cuomo, will be speaking, followed by New York State Department of Transportation Commissioner Matthew Driscoll, then Senator Joe Roebuck, Assembly Majority Joe Morelli, and then the program will conclude. Well, while we are here, let me just say, I have to tell you that today is an exciting day for all of Monroe County in this great area. This is an exciting time for this area and the entire region. Under Governor Andrew Cuomo's leadership, we have seen great investment in upstate New York, and today is no exception. Although I have to tell you that I know that we're here for an airport project, but this is sort of like waiting for the present to be unwrapped, because I'm not quite sure what the governor is going to announce, but I do know that we have an exciting project here. Our airport is a gateway for millions of people each year, and the transformative nature of this project will enhance the experience for all of our customers. You know, we have a responsibility to ensure the safest, most accessible, most efficient, and pleasant experience for everybody who travels here in Monroe County. We value our customers, and we are here to ensure that this airport offers the very best customer experience and top accessible amenities. We take this obligation very seriously to make sure that the people here in Monroe County and our businesses have the best opportunities right here in Monroe County and our airport. You know, it's often said, how come we don't have more direct flights here in Monroe County? You know, we want some upgrades to our airport, and today we're going to talk about just that. Back in July, the governor announced a competition for Upstate Airport Economic Revitalization Grant. And I have to tell you that this was such an enormous opportunity for all of New York State, but certainly here for Monroe County. So we worked together. I want to congratulate and thank our airport director, Mike Giordino, our consultants, our great team, my leadership team. We worked together to put together a proposal that I want to just touch base on for a second. We seized an opportunity to make sure that this airport can be the best in the 21st century and for decades to come. You know, the airport is an economic engine that really does drive the economy here in Monroe County. Did you know that over 10,000 jobs are created and sustained by this airport currently? Did you know that this airport generates over $295 million in income here locally in Monroe County? And did you know that the airport currently contributes over $800 million to our local economy? But you know what? This project will do even more. This project will make sure that Monroe County and the surrounding area stays on the map. This project will make sure that this economy continues to grow, that we continue to enhance job growth here and provide opportunities not only for people here in Monroe County, but throughout this area. You know, I got to take a minute to thank all of the people who supported our application. So many of you are here. Over 75 letters of support came through to help get this project here today in this airport. Let me just take a minute to thank again the following people: the Finger Lakes Regional Economic Development Council, the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce, Visit Rochester, again the City of Rochester, Initiations of Higher Learning, corporate supporters, airline partners, the Transportation Security Administration, and of course our elected leaders here. I gotta tell you, government works best when we work together as community partners, and today is a great example of just that. You know, you're going to hear all about the proposal, but I'm so excited about it. I just want to share a couple highlights with all of you. You're going to see a great video. You're going to see what's in store for this great airport. But I'll tell you what, the proposal that we put together is really, really transformational. Great things happening here. We've got improved airport access, better signage, great cell phone lot, community partnership, better amenities, economic development, incubator hub, security upgrades, customer amenities as well. It is absolutely unbelievable. And I got to take a minute to say hello to our friends from RIT who are here as well, because the new technology that we're going to introduce is going to enhance the experience for our customers who visit our airport with disabilities as well, and for our hearing impaired. So thank you to the partnership with our folks at RIT, and I want to welcome them here as well. You know, as I said before, what brings us here today is collaboration along many government lines, from the top to the bottom, from businesses as well. But it really does start with leadership. And I have to tell you that I am personally thankful to the governor for his leadership, not only in the state of New York, but for his commitment to economic development in upstate New York and now focusing on Monroe County. I am thrilled that he is here. I know that we're going to continue to work together and keep the momentum going forward. Would you please welcome me in joining a friend to Monroe County, our governor, the Honorable Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you, Dawn. Beautiful. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's my pleasure to be back on this beautiful day, and it is an exciting day and a great day for Monroe County and the entire Finger Lakes region. First, to the county executive and her team and the management of this airport that has done a really extraordinary job in coming up with a vision for the airport of tomorrow. Let's give her a round of applause, and the whole airport management team. It's a pleasure to be with Commissioner Matt Driscoll, who's doing a great job at the Department of Transportation. This was his priority and his idea about revitalizing the upstate airports. He was exactly right. Let's give the Commissioner a round of applause. And my partners in the legislature who passed this proposal in the budget last year. We then ran a competition, and we're here obviously today to talk about the results of that competition. But the legislature has made a priority about investing in upstate New York, and I want to thank the Majority Leader and Senator Joe Roback and Assembly Majority Leader Joe Morelli for being here today and for passing this, as well as my other colleagues from the legislature. Let's give them a round of applause. You know, for many years, upstate New York was in decline, as we all know. And there was I call it a negative synergy. We talk about positive synergies. Well, there's also a negative synergy. And we were losing businesses, and when you lose business, you lose opportunity, then you lose people, you lose young people, and it's a downward spiral. And it was a downward spiral for decades. And everything was about loss and mitigating loss, but the arrows were all pointed down. Today, the arrows are pointed up. And you see more and more positive signs of growth and development. Why? Because first of all, upstate New York has a full-fledged partner in the state government, which they didn't have for many, many decades. And upstate New York, I say it, and I don't feel good about saying it, but it got the short end of the stick. And the state government in Albany was not focused enough on upstate New York. Matt Driscoll will tell you that as the former mayor of Syracuse. Bob Duffy will tell you that as the former mayor of Rochester. Mayor Warren will tell you that today, that in the past, the state government didn't focus on upstate New York. We shifted that 180 degrees, and we have now invested billions of dollars in upstate New York. And you see the growth, and you see the momentum. Just last week, we did the Genesee Brewery. You see what's going on in the Port of Rochester with the new marina, the photonics that was announced by the Vice President, 1366. You see new businesses actually coming in and new industries being formed. We've invested in tourism, and tourism is driving an economy unto itself. Finger Lakes region, the growth in tourism is about 14%. We're up to $3 billion per year in economic activity from tourism, from the I Love New York, et cetera. And that's only getting better because that whole wine industry and the brewery industry is just taking off. And the more people who come to upstate New York, the more people who return because it is beautiful. And once they come and once they see it, and once they experience it, they come back. It's just we hadn't told the story. We hadn't gotten the word out for too long. So you see the growth, you feel the growth, you see it in the numbers. When we started, unemployment was about 8%. Now it's down to 4.6%. So all the arrows are pointed in the right direction. We just have to keep it going now. We have to build on that momentum, and we have to build on that energy. And what is probably in today's economy the single most important asset is the airport. Why? Because that's your front door. You want to talk about tourism? Some people drive, but more and more people are flying. You want to talk about a global economy, photonics industry, getting new businesses. They're coming by plane. It's about the airport and the amenities, and airports are different than they were 20, 30 years ago. It's not about just showing up and getting on a taxiway to take a plane. It's now a destination in and of itself. And people expect the level of amenities that they have in other airports. And that's what you have to do to be competitive. That was Commissioner Driscoll's point, and he was right. So we said we were going to run a competition for the best airport transformation plans. Why a competition? Because we believe in competition in government. Sounds almost like an oxymoron, competition in government. No, we are very responsible with taxpayer dollars. We want to invest in economic development projects, but we want to invest in the best economic development projects. So how do you get the best economic development projects? We hold competitions. That's what we did with the Regional Economic Development Councils, and we say, whoever comes up with the best plan, the best bang for the buck, we will then invest as a partner. Basically a private sector mentality in investing with government funds. So we had a competition. We had 16 applications from airports in upstate New York that came up with transformation plans. And they were very, very creative. And the competition was very stiff. From those 16 in this first round, there are 2 winners. And once there's a winner, the question is, how much of the amount requested do you get, right? So there are sort of two hurdles. One, you have to win, and two, the question is, how much of the requested amount do you get? Obviously, the answer to the first question is you are a winner. Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing here with airplanes behind me. You have proposed a $63 million transformation plan that is going to take the airport from an airport of yesterday to an airport of tomorrow, that is going to make your front door a state-of-the-art front door where you have as great a welcome area to attract new business and new people as any city in this country. You requested $63 million for the transformation plan. The full plan is $63 million. You requested approximately $40 million from the state of New York through this competition, $23 million to be put in by the airport and county sources. And I'm here to say, congratulations, you have won the full approximately $40 million. Congratulations, God bless you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I know you are all very excited to be here now. And let me make it very clear, and I appreciate the governor's kudos, but the fact of the matter is the governor's been the one that's been driving this program from the very beginning. He's the one that's made it happen. Let's give him another big round of applause, Governor Cuomo. So as you've heard, today is about transformation, right? The governor has been transforming upstate all along, and today is another big step in that, announcing the transformation of upstate airports, particularly here in Rochester. But I think it's important that we take a step back, just a brief step back, because for all of us who call upstate home, all of us here, including me, we know what it was like. We know that Albany did not pay attention to us for decades, and we've seen the decline. Thankfully, now we have a governor who gets it, who understands that investing into upstate makes good sense for the entire state of New York. This governor gets that. He's made upstate a priority. He's been laser focused on it from the very beginning. I've had the privilege and honor to serve under him from the very beginning, and he has made it clear from the beginning that upstate must be recognized. And so transforming the economy from yesterday to tomorrow is a big job, but that's what's been happening all along. And you know, it's been being done in a very different way, not the old Albany way of top down, but rather the action plan that the governor put into place is from the bottom up. It's building regional partnerships between business, academia, and government to smartly plan for the long term. Because let's face it, who knows better than what a region needs than the people who live and work in the region? And the governor has made that a priority to partner, to listen, and to work with your plans to make that happen. It's working, it's a fact. We see it all across, certainly here in the Finger Lakes region and all across upstate New York. The regional economic development councils are implementing those new growth strategies, and they're paying dividends. Here in the region, companies like Genesee Brewery, which just was announced about 2 weeks ago, 1366 Technologies, to name a few, are creating jobs and more opportunity for more jobs. And of course, the Eastman Kodak Business Park, already home to 6,500 jobs and growing. Rochester's now the new national headquarters for photonics research. That's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen, a very big deal indeed. This year, the state just awarded $10 million to the city of Geneva. $10 million. That is huge for a community to help re-envision themselves. Give it a round of applause. It deserves it. You've got a wonderful city that sits on Seneca Lake, and it can be rebirthed. And how is that happening? With $10 million from the governor to help them make their dreams come true and grow and plan for a future for that great city. RIT, smartly, relocated to downtown with state support, providing important guidance and mentoring to small businesses in the region, helping their neighbors grow. And over the last 6 years, over 24,000 new jobs have been created in the region. Jobs are up, unemployment is down, the facts are clear. So today, we take the next big step. And a key to any form of economic growth is, of course, transportation and access. Why? Because if people can't get to a region, the region won't grow. It's as simple as that. We started by rebuilding our roads and bridges, and I want to tell you the Department of Transportation under Governor Cuomo's leadership has been making massive investments in this region. Since 2012, about $1.3 billion. That work continues. You'll see more in the years ahead. We have an aggressive plan here in Monroe County. But really, to open this region to global opportunities, to global markets, you need, as the governor said, you must have a state-of-the-art air transportation system. The airports of tomorrow are totally different than what they are today. They're destinations. Why? Because they're more about just leaving a place or flying into a place. They're a place where people go and have retail opportunities, have dining experiences, and meeting room space. It's kind of the new thing. People are flying into communities, they have meetings on site, they eat, they shop, and they leave. That's why it's important to reposition this airport. And of course, given the threats that we face today, and we had another reminder this past weekend in New York, airports must be equipped with state-of-the-art security and protocol. We're building a new airport. It's rising out of the ground now at LaGuardia, planning and redesigning a new JFK in New York City. And as the governor said, we set out this year to find the best plans to rebuild our upstate airports. $200 million redesign competition. You see the criteria here. And it was consistent really with the governor's notion that we need to make sure that we incorporate sustainable building and renewable energy technologies in. Why? Because it saves money. And so when you're saving money, that's additional resources that you have for a facility like this airport to reinvest into itself. It's just smart business. The airport plans incorporate innovative design concepts, and they promote that very important, and leverage that very important public-private partnerships with the ability to get it done quickly. Because I think all of you know, certainly with this administration, it's not about making plans, but it's getting it done. Applications, as was said, opened on May 27th, and they closed just this past July. 16 upstate airports, as the governor commented on, and 2 round 1 winners have been chosen, and that is why we are here today. Now, this airport in its 69th year of operation, and it supports, as the county executive said, over 10,000 jobs in the region. I'm not sure people always recognize and think about what an airport means, but an airport is really an economic development platform. This airport is more than just Monroe County. It's a regional-wide asset, and those 10,000 jobs are spread throughout the region. It's important to continue to grow the airport, and this region deserves an airport that's built for the future. So today we're announcing the transformation of this Greater Rochester International Airport and the steps to transforming it to the 21st century. And you can see here again, focusing on economic opportunity, expanding those retail options, and of course, improving passengers' experiences. The new airport will provide a world-class passenger experience. It's going to feature a host of premier shopping and dining options and enhanced safety measures throughout the terminal building. State-of-the-art security monitoring, increased end-to-end visibility, good sight lines, very important in crowded buildings. New TSA scanners so that you can get through faster and in a more secure fashion. The airport has a redesigned and redecorated interior, of course. And for someone like me, who this is always helpful, color-coded navigation between the concourses when you're multitasking like I do, and I'm sure all of you do as well. A digital information hub that's visible to passengers coming or going in either direction, and new windows with energy-efficient glass, bringing in greater sunlight, but maintaining that environment in a controlled way. Bluetooth connectivity, wayfinding, flight status, gate information, all very important. Tablets and UBS charging stations, all very important. And a playground that was designed by the hometown hospital here, the Golisano Children's Hospital, for use by folks that are traveling to Rochester for that hospital. And this airport gets a lot of business for that very reason. So upon arrival now, you see passengers are greeted by this, but that's going to all change, and it's going to go to this. Give it a big round of applause. Passengers are going to walk from the parking structure to the terminal underneath the solar canopy over the Skyway. Again, increased security with cameras mounted, license plate readers, luggage motion sensors. Sustainable, collects rainwater for reuse and houses solar panels. All of this is going to help reduce the operating cost of the airport here. That's critically important for the future. The airport will also feature new signage at the 390 entrance. And finally, design positions the Greater Rochester to be a national model for accessibility in travel. And this is very exciting. The design incorporates state-of-the-art technology engineered by RIT's National Technical Institute for the Deaf, making travel easier for the hearing impaired. And to further expand, and it's not just stopping there, it's really planning for the future and growing what can be a national model, because the plan proposes establishing an on-site business incubator. And I think that's terrific news. The community, all of you, and the industry have expressed unified support for this plan. And of course, the redevelopment plan now, we talked about jobs, it's going to ignite over 1,200 construction jobs. And again, we're awarding almost $40 million to the plan here. It's really going to help change the face of this. Rochester's no longer going to have one of those airports from yesterday. Rather, it'll be an airport for the future. This is the front door. And so welcome to the new Greater Rochester International Airport. So now I have the privilege, I want to introduce the next speaker, someone who I've known for a long time, and that I've had a personal and professional relationship for many years. He also happens to chair the Transportation Committee for the state of New York, so it's very important for me and for you. I can tell you that Senator Robach has me on speed dial, calls me all the while. He is a great advocate not only for his district and in Monroe County, but you should know he is really a hard worker for all of New York State in that capacity as chair of the Transportation Committee. He does a fantastic job for you and everybody across the state. Give my friend Joe Robach a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. I am delighted to be here with all my colleagues in government and you as well. This is an important announcement. And before I talk about this, I really do want to say, you can't underscore it enough. When the governor says what the status was of upstate New York and the Capitol, I could tell you, I lived it and I felt it. And literally, it was so bad that there were certain leaders and even a previous governor that literally were angry at me because I talked so much about us not getting our fair share, or what I thought was a little bit of a slight to my community, Rochester and upstate New York. But I could say this, and I think you should give credit where credit is due. When Governor Cuomo got elected, he said to me and a lot of other people, we're going to change that. We're going to pay attention to upstate New York, and you really have. And we should applaud you for that, because it doesn't happen all the time. We not only got projects leading up to it, but the $500 million for the upstate revitalization and in transportation in my area, even before this announcement, we were able to get, which we didn't have for 5 years, some equity and parity, a $27 billion plan for upstate roads and bridges over the next 6 years, matching the Metropolitan Transit Authority 6-year plan. And I think that is only more than fair. If people want to say we're all one state, then we have to be treated as children. And certainly you don't send one kid to Harvard and tell the other kid, we don't have money to help you. But working with this governor, the legislature, my colleague Joe Morelli, and everybody here in this room, we got that parity. Also, there's some additional money for rail, which is very important for the whole state, but also us in New York. So we're on the right track. And I just want to thank you for this project, this $40 million. I don't think Matt did a wonderful job of explaining it. This is going to be not only great enhancements as we continue, and from small companies to big companies that I meet with, they're all talking about, which is great, people flying in from Germany, from England, from Ireland, from Asia to want to invest in here and do business or buy products. That airport will go a long way to that. But even above and beyond that, the jobs in design, construction, and everything else that goes around this makes this a real win-win project for everybody in our community. No matter what your job is, what your age is, what your demographic is, this is a win. So thank you for the whole team. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, Chairman Driscoll, for your leadership on this. And I want to say, when you said, Governor, that you are here, obviously we won. If you have any announcements that we don't win, you don't need to invite me. But thank you all very much. God bless. Oh. And it's my honor and privilege. I mentioned his name earlier. I think you see sometimes what's going on nationally, and people get frustrated when partisan politics gets in the way of getting the job done. What I could say with our whole delegation, Senator Funke and I talk about this all the time. We work very closely with Joe Morelli and our delegation, whether it's to work for the city, whether it's to work for the county, whether it's to get state projects done, and we couldn't do that without that cooperative effort. So I want to introduce our colleague and friend, our region, Majority Leader Joe Morelli.
Little trick for you in the future, County Executive. First of all, it's a great pleasure and privilege to be here. Thanks, Joe Robach, for that great introduction. We do get the opportunity to not only work together and do things that are critically important, but we have a little fun together too, so that's always nice. And today is a great day, so a lot of smiles on people's faces. I want to start, as others have, by just underscoring again what an incredible commitment Andrew Cuomo has made to upstate New York and to the Finger Lakes region. It can't be said enough. I remember starting this conversation when the governor was the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and we would talk on the phone, and he would talk about his concern that upstate New York in particular wasn't getting the kind of treatment, equal treatment, that he thought other parts of the state were receiving, and that the state government wasn't doing enough. And his commitment from the time he was Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, when he was the Attorney General of the state, and certainly as the Governor of New York, has been without parallel. And we should again thank the Governor for his amazing commitment to our region. And at the risk of being redundant, I was having a conversation earlier this week with Danny Wegman, who, along with Ann Kress, and they deserve a lot of thanks, as co-chairs of the Regional Economic Development Council. Danny and I were talking about what's happened over the last several years and how happy we are. The governor mentioned competition, and one of the things that this has required us to do in this region, and Joe and I are blessed to serve on the committee as our House's representatives, this competition has really forced us to identify those transformational projects for Rochester. The governor mentioned photonics. We talk about food processing and agriculture. We talk about advanced manufacturing, Rochester, Kodak Eastman Business Park. Those types of initiatives have really forced us, we've come out of that by being forced to think about what's important to this region. And that's the competition that the governor talks about. Today is another example of that. And there may be others who think that's not appropriate in government, but I'm with the governor on this. If you really want the finest ideas, if you want people to come together and really crystallize those things that will transform your community, your region, and your state, you ask people to sit down and know that other people are going to be doing the same things in their regions. You've got to come up with the very best. So the best and the brightest are working on this, and this is just an amazing project and just an amazing result. And the other thing I'd say, which is also repeating what others have said, is we are now moving into and moved into a post-industrial economy. Innovation is the key to our success. That's why everything the Regional Economic Development Council has done has been about how to take innovation and make Rochester and the Finger Lakes one of the great places in the country and in the world for innovation. This project today signals how important that is to that transformation. This airport, when people come here, they will have an idea. Is this a community that's investing in innovation and new technologies and new ideas, or is this the Rochester of years past? So this is an incredible project. I thank all of my government partners who have had a hand in this and played significant roles, and the state of New York. I'm really so proud of the legislature and the governor for coming together, for identifying this as a priority and making sure that Rochester has its day in the sun. And as I said, I'm looking forward. I travel a little bit. I'll be looking forward to the airport of tomorrow. So thank you and God bless you.
Step up.
Wow, that's a great trick, isn't it? I love it. I think I'm 5'3", but now I'm like 6 feet tall. This is awesome. True support here from my colleague. We happen to be of different parties, but we can work together all the time, right, Joe? So what did you think about that video? Isn't that tremendous? So just indulge me for a minute. You know what? These things don't happen by accident. They happen with real teamwork, real dedication. What you saw on the screen today, taking our airport from where we are today, doing a great job every day, but we can do better, we can do more. If you don't mind, let me congratulate in advance our great airport director, Mike Giardino. Have a stand. Come on, Mike. Don't be shy. And all of our friends at the airport, Andy Moore, Jen Hanrahan, our airport staff, stand up. Let us acknowledge you. Don't be shy. Come on, guys. Thank you so much for your work every day. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the men and women who make it happen every day at our airport. And I got to tell you, to our friends in the airport, to Mike and the team, you know what? Fasten your seatbelts because we're ready to take off, right? As the governor said, we've got an aggressive plan. We're ready to tackle this, but we have to say right from the beginning, thank you, Governor Andrew Cuomo. Thank you for your commitment to upstate New York. Thank you for your commitment to Monroe County. We are so thankful for your support in this endeavor. This will truly, truly make a lasting impact here in Monroe County. Jobs, economy, our families, our businesses. We share a common goal. It's demonstrated by the governor. It's demonstrated by all of you being here today. Again, thank you so much to Governor Andrew Cuomo. We're looking forward to continuing to work with you. Again, everybody fasten your seatbelts. Ready for takeoff.